Hey, this is Calvin Rodgers, and I'm here at Sweetwater. We're talking fills and grooves and gospel music. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Grew up playing in church, and I played with many artists like Fred Hammond, Israel Houghton, but I've also played with artists like Aretha Franklin and the Isley Brothers. Here we're going to discuss how gospel music has evolved and how some of the music has changed over the years. We'll start first with shouting music, or as it's called now, praise breaks. So initially, shouting music started off with basically a quick upbeat shuffle, could be between 140 to 150, maybe even 160 BPMs. So something like this. Okay, it's gone from there to basically started getting a little bit more involved, adding double kicks and adding little noodles on the ride cymbal. Over the years and lately, it's gone away from having so much emphasis on the backbeat, and drummers now focusing emphasis now on a shuffle or playing accents, right? So there'll be accents, the band will play, and the drummer, instead of playing the solid backbeat or the doubles or the shuffle or anything like that, he'll just play the accents and some kind of, shuffle on the snare drum. Either way, you're gonna dance at church. So if you've ever listened to me play drums, if you've ever heard me play, or if you talk to anyone that knows anything about my playing, they'll tell you one of my favorite rudiments is the Paradiddle Diddle. In case you're not familiar with the Paradiddle Diddle, it's half of a paradiddle with a diddle at the end. So you got right, left, left, left. Paradiddle diddle, right? I first came into contact with this particular rudiment listening to some Weckl. He's playing a song over a funk groove, kind of like. Once I was able to break the lick down, I started figuring out different ways that I could manipulate that lick. During that same time, I was touring with Pastor John P. Key, and I started figuring out ways for me to manipulate that lick. Staying with the way I learned it, keeping the diddle in the front on the kick drum and the Paradiddle Diddle in the hands, but I started moving it around the toms first. The song, God of Mercy, had a bar of accents or that the choir sang, and then 2 bars of drum solos. So I had. Okay, so I began to incorporate the diddle diddle. So we got 1, 2, 3, and rain on us. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. All these are solos. Rain on us. So now I haven't played that lick in a while that way, but that was just one incredible way that I learned to incorporate that diddle diddle. Finding licks and accents and rudiments and things like that, being influenced by musicians, I'm all for that, but find a way to make it your own. That's my spiel on the diddle diddle. Another thing that's changed is the way drummers support songs in gospel music. For the most part, back in the day, traditional gospel music had a lot of drummers basically laying the foundation, basically with a backbeat 2 and 4. So you had a song that maybe just had a part, the groove was like dun, 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 dun. Okay, you had a guy. Right? Well, now that's not the case anymore. Gospel music and contemporary Christian music has kind of merged and created the CCM thing, and there's a lot of rock influence. So the same kind of groove would be maybe handled or treated this kind of way. One thing we can also do is during verses, same groove, same song, space out the verses. So, instead of 4 on the floor and the driving floor times, you got something like. All this can be attributed to, a lot of the modern rock drummers that so many of us are influenced by. Phil Collins, Chester Thompson, U2, all of that stuff, Coldplay. There's a ton of influence that's headed over there, and that influences the sound and the writing style of gospel music now. And so it's changed the way we approach the drums. And in talking about the influence of other music and how it influences the songwriters and the artists, we got to talk about the drummers who are outside of gospel music, who influence the drummers of gospel music. I've been hugely influenced by tons of gospel drummers, but also by a lot of non-gospel drummers. Two, namely, I'll just start with, will be Will Kennedy, of course, my big brother from the Yellow Jackets. Will Kennedy is, to me, he is the most dynamically aware drummer I've ever heard. And so things I get from him are basically, about sensitivity. When I listen to Will, I hear tons of his stick definitions. So in the track I played, like the song I played from Marvin Sapp, the 6/8 song, you'll hear the grace notes in the, in the six, and the way he kind of moves about it is so romantic. It's, it's sleek, it's sexy almost, you know what I'm saying? So in a 6/8 song with Will, you got stuff like. Right? Now, of course, for me playing a contemporary gospel song, I can't necessarily take that approach dynamically, but I can take some of the grace notes, you know what I'm saying? So I can take that same approach with my solid backbeat and. Right? So you got the Will Kennedy effect, right? Also, another drummer is Jeff Porcaro. Now, everybody's been influenced by Jeff Porcaro, and everybody knows he had the famous Porcaro shuffle on the infamous Toto song, Rosanna. But, and I love, he talks about how it was kind of like a Bo Diddley thing that he kind of morphed into. Well, for me, listening to him, I wanted my own kind of, Porcaro shuffle. C-Rod shuffle, maybe that's what we'll call it. But in the same, again, I look for moments where I can emulate these drummers and kind of make my own stamp, take my own mark. So that being said, I could take a move like, again, in the 6/8 joint and make it a little bit of my own shuffle. Porcaro is. So many influences outside of gospel music and gospel drummers have influenced gospel music and gospel drummers. We won't even get into James Brown and Clyde Stubblefield. But yeah, so many drummers, and we're still going. And while we're at it, let me take a second to shout out the amazing companies that support me in such an amazing way. Starting with Pearl Drums, they got a beautiful Music City custom reference pure here in this beautiful marine white finish, I believe is what it's called. These drums sound amazing. They never let me down. Also, I got my Mino cymbals and my brandly new released Calvin Rodgers signature sticks by Mino Stick and Brush. So excited about my partnership with them. Shout out to John Fark and Chris Brewer over at Pearl and at Mino. Also, my friends in LA and handling at Remo Percussion, the drum heads, the best drum heads, the most recorded drum heads in the world. And lastly, Kim Hilton and their entire staff over at Earthworks Microphones. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys really, really make drumming like super fun for me. You take all the work out of it. Thanks so much to all you guys. So listen, we got to wrap it up. I got to get going, but listen, I want to thank the entire staff here at Sweetwater for having me. They're amazing staff. They're incredible hospitality. This place is beautiful and they got tons of gear. You guys got to get in here and shop. You just got to. I hope everyone is staying safe. Thank you to Nick Virgilio. Thank you to everyone here at Sweetwater that had a hand in bringing me down. I hope everyone's seeing this video. I pray that you guys are blessed, your families are blessed, and you guys are staying safe. Don't forget to put your mask on, all right? Everybody be safe. God bless.